Hello everybody and welcome to this week's science video. In this video, I am going to do a quick review of last week's homework from plants and the plant metabolism lessons in your Purple HiSET book. So please get out your Purple HiSET book and turn to page 130 because that is where we will begin. Then I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what this week's assignments are. So let's get started. All right, page 130, question 1. I'm gonna put the page number. All right, and as usual, I will post this in the Google Classroom assignment in case you need to see the answers again. All right, so question number 1 on page 130 says, which of the following uses photosynthesis to obtain nutrition but has no phylum through which to transport the nutrients? The answer is A, moss. Moss is non-vascular, meaning it needs the sun's photosynthesis to make energy and nutrients. If you go back under page 128 and you look at where it says non-vascular, it says non-vascular plants such as mosses and liverworts do not contain vascular tissue and lack true roots, stems, and leaves. Since they do not have any vessels for transport, they grow low on the ground, usually in moist areas. All right, number 2, which explains why xylem can be found in a plant's roots? D is the answer. Xylem transports water from the roots to the leaves of the plant. You go back to page 128 again, look under the plant structures paragraph. Right in the middle of the paragraph is the answer for number 2. It says the functions of the roots are to anchor the plant in the ground and to absorb water and minerals that travel through the plant via the xylem. All right, moving on to number 3. You're going to use the diagram for number 3. Where does plant reproduction take place? It takes place in A. That top up there is the flower, okay? So plant reproduction is found in the flowers of the plant because that is where plants' gametes or reproductive cells are found. It's also where a bird or a bee or something would pollinate the plant. Well, would take that flower and pollinate another plant, I should say. Number 4, which part of the plant makes food for its survival? The answer is B for number 2, that is the leaves. The leaves are where photosynthesis is absorbed to make its nutrients. Number 5, which part of the plant takes in water and minerals? That would be D, the roots or the xylem. All right, next up, says use this description below to answer questions 6 and 7. One summer day, a bee is seen moving from flower to flower on a lily plant. Several days later, the plant drops seeds to the ground. The next spring, new lily plants are growing where the bee has once been seen. This actually happened in my garden. I planted 2 lilies, a tiger lily and another lily, I can't remember what it was called. Next year, I was like, oh, I must have planted my lilies too close together because now the tiger lily, not the tiger lily, the other lily that I can't remember what it's called, is taking over the tiger lily. Following year, I had 4 tiger lilies instead of 1. So this does happen. I've seen it. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. All right, number 6, how did the bee help in the reproduction of the lily plant? It is A, the bee moved pollen from the male, which is the anther, to the pistil, which is the female of the plant. So basically it moved the male gametes to the female reproductive organs by picking the flowers and dropping the seeds. Number 7, after the seed dropped to the ground, when conditions were just right, the seed germinated. Okay, A, germinated. You go back to page 129 under plant growth. It says under appropriate temperatures and moisture conditions, a seed will germinate or begin to grow. That's where you would find your answer. Number 6 is also found back on page 29, but up under plant reproduction, the second paragraph under plant reproduction. Question number 6 was, how did the bee help in the reproduction of the lily plant? It says pollen grains contain the male gametes and are found on the tip of the anther. The female reproductive structure is the pistil. So there is your answer for number 6 as well. All right, moving on to the questions for plant metabolism on page 135. All right, so number 1, page 135, number 1, which molecules are produced from photosynthesis? So it is D, O2 is oxygen, and the C6H12O6 is actually sugar or glucose. So that would be your answer there. I won't freak out too much about that, and remembering that C6H12O6 thing, because if that is a question on the GED, it's only going to be 1, so I wouldn't freak out. What is the function of oxygen in cellular respiration? Number 2 is C, to pull electrons along the electron transport chain and form water. Number 3, in hot, dry weather, some grasses will close their stomata in order to reduce the amount of water lost to the atmosphere. What would be a result of this action? It is B, the grass will cease photosynthesis and turn brown. If the stomata is closed, it can't take in carbon dioxide from the air and will not be able to carry out photosynthesis. So if it closes its stomata, it is going to basically shut off its absorption of light. See if, okay, I don't have number 3 marked anywhere. All right, number 4, why is photosynthesis important to animals? Not only is it important to animals, it's important to us as well. But it produces oxygen, which is needed for animal respiration. It also produces glucose, which is needed for animals to carry out cellular respiration. So without photosynthesis, they wouldn't have the oxygen to breathe or the glucose to absorb to survive. Number 5. Mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouse of cells. How does cellular respiration explain why they are given this name? Basically, cellular respiration, which takes place in the mitochondria, results in the large production of a large amount of ATP, which provides energy for the cell to carry out life functions. So remember that the ATP is related directly to photosynthesis. ATP is a molecule that all cells can easily use as energy for life functions. All right, so that is the homework review. So now real quick, I want to go over what this week's assignment is. I was going to say excitement, but yeah, probably not exciting. Now, I know that the book work for this week is a lot of book work. So I apologize for that. And I do apologize too because I don't have any BrainPop videos that go with the next 2 chapters that aren't just like showing you like cute videos of penguins and stuff like that. So I'm not going to show you them. Let me get back to our classroom. Here we go. So today's assignments. 1, you're watching this video. So once that is done, you're a complete number 1. Number 2, your HiSET book work. First lesson is lesson 5, animals, page 136 to 138, and your practice questions are on page 138. And you also have lesson 6, which is called the human body. So finally, we're going to stop talking about plants and animals. We're going to start talking about us. Page 139 to 143, and the practice is on pages 142 and 143. Now, if you were to page over to 142 and 143 right now, it's 12 questions. So we are definitely going to go over these questions next Zoom, okay? However, if while you are doing your book work and you are doing your reading, you have questions, please go to number 3 here. Questions via Google Forms. If you have any questions about the reading, please share them with me in the Google Forms below. That way I can answer them in our Zoom next week. So very similar to what you're being asked to do for social studies is to please write down your questions now. That way I can answer them in our next Zoom. If you ask me them straight up in our next Zoom, I may not have the answers. So if you give me them now before you forget, and so I can remember, I will answer them in our next Zoom. So I have to add that in still, but it'll be there. And then YouTube videos. Watch these YouTube videos for a better understanding. So I do have some YouTube videos. I just don't have BrainPop videos. So I will add them in also. They're optional, but will be helpful since we're not having an actual class. So I will also put the homework review that I just showed you down here in the bottom as well. So as of now, this should have released to you on Wednesday morning. I don't think we have any particular plans for Wednesday morning other than going to what is called $1 Million Beach on Lake George. So that's where I'll be if you have any questions. And I'm just kidding. I'm not teasing you with my vacation. I'm just kidding. Keeping you up to date. All right. So read lesson 5, read lesson 6, do the practice questions. If you have any questions, write them down and submit them to me so I can get them answered to you as soon as possible. Again, if you have any technology issues, please let me know. I'm also going to be putting Kathy White's email number in the Google Stream if you need help from her. But if you need help, I should be able to help you as long as I have service up there in Lake George. Otherwise, have a great rest of the week, and your reading composition assignment will, your reading comprehension assignment will release to you at 3 o'clock today. So no video for that, just book reading and writing a summary basically. So yeah, and that's it. No Newsela this week either. So you're good to go. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching.